Alrighty, hosses, welcome back, and in this tutorial I am going to show you guys how to use other types of Python objects in your templates. So right now what we already learned is that we can pass simple variables into your template, and we passed in like a username. We can also pass in, I don't know, a simple integer like a user's age or ID number. But what happens when we want to pass a more complex object like an entire Python list? Can we do that? And if so, how is it done? Well, in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a really simple web page, and we're going to pass in a list of food, and we'll say that it's like a user shopping list or something, and then we'll loop through it and then display it on a web page. So let's first make a new template, and we'll just name this like a shopping.html. So this will be their shopping list. And let me copy this. So we'll work on that in just a second. That's going to be the template, but for now, let's go ahead and take care of the back end, the routing. So let me just copy this because I'm lazy, and we'll just name the page shopping. All right. So whenever the user goes to this URL, what we want to do is we want to make a function shopping. And now, since the entire point of this web page is to display a grocery list, let's just go ahead and make a list. So I'm just gonna say like cheese. What else is on my list? Tuna and beef. Looks like this person has a very healthy diet: cheese, tuna, and beef. All right. So we have a list. How do we throw it into our template? Well, I don't even need to copy that. I'm not that lazy. All right. So render template. What HTML template are you going to use? Well, we're just going to use shopping.html. And just like any other variable, we're actually just going to pass it right in. So now, whenever we do this, your shopping template basically has access to this food variable, which is a list. So you usually just don't want to print this out because I don't know, it just is going to look ugly to the user. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an unordered list, and we're going to loop through our Python list and print each one out as an item. So let's just go ahead and start out with an unordered list. Now inside here, we're going to loop through food and print out each item. Now remember, I said anytime that you have non-HTML in your template, what you want to do is you want to surround it with a curly brace and those percent signs. This means that don't read this as HTML, interpret it as Python or Flask. So we'll say for item in food, and what this is going to do is it's going to loop through this list 3 different times, and it's going to treat each item as item. So there you go. And before I continue, I just need to signify the end of my loop by writing N4. So inside here, we can just basically write plain old HTML. So list item. And remember, each time we're just going to print out the item. So the first time it loops, it's going to be equal to cheese. The second time it's going to be equal to tuna. And the third time it's going to be equal to beef. So now let me go ahead and run this. And what was my URL? Shopping. So shopping right there. So cheese, tuna, and beef. And of course, if we ever want to go back and add another item like toothpaste and restart that, and everything should work beautifully. So again, whenever we use Flask, we aren't only limited to passing in strings and integers. We can also pass more complex Python objects like lists, and our templates are going to be able to handle those fine as well. So again, we are now understanding the power of Flask, learning all the cool things that we can do with it, and I'm not sure what we're going to be covering in the next tutorial, but as always, it's going to be freaking awesome. So I'll see you guys then.